At work, it can feel like stress is coming from deadlines, meetings, and expectations. But what if the pressure you feel isn't actually coming from the outside world? I'm Luke Richardson, and this is Wave Work Stress Goodbye, a podcast exploring the inside-out understanding and how seeing how our minds work can transform the way we experience work, pressure, and performance. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of Wave Work Stress Goodbye. I really hope you're all well, and I also hope you've been keeping cool and hydrated and as safe as you can in this extremely hot weather. For any overseas listeners, we've had quite a heat wave this week over in the UK, and it's been pushing up to 40 degrees, and basically we're not used to it, so apologies if you're listening from a much more tropical climate than Britain. We're really not used to it, so we're just struggling to manage in this heat. But that's just our thinking, right? If you've been listening to my episodes, we know that outside circumstances can't affect the way we think and feel. So if we're irritated by the weather, then it must be our thinking. Anyway, that swiftly moves us on to this week's episode. And this week's episode is all about loss of identity. So have you been in a job, a corporate job, for example, and got that engrossed into it that you've kind of forgot yourself? Well, if that's you, then this episode is for you. So keep listening, and you might learn something quite deep and truthful about where your experience is really coming from. And you'll feel better. You'll feel better and be able to thrive in your job. So that's what you'll get out of this episode. So yeah, as I say, maybe you're someone who has landed a job or been in a job for a few years, and you've done all the right things on paper. You've worked hard. You've started early. You've stayed late. You've worked on weekends, but you've kind of forgot who you really are amidst all of that. And I've been there too myself. When I was a project manager at my previous company, I got that into the position that I kind of lost myself. And my family also noticed that I lost myself as well. So despite my previous company, throwing a lot at me, a lot of workload, a lot of deadlines to do, the fault ultimately lied with me. That's the bitter pill to swallow. The fault did lie with me because, as I explained, nothing out there can make us feel a certain way inside of us. And because I was creating thoughts of anxiety and thoughts of obsession over a job, that was masking the real me. And I lived in that world for a number of years. Yeah, sure, I enjoyed my holidays. I turned up to family gatherings as present I could be, but Monday to Friday, I was just not the real me. And let me give you an example of this. And I'm going to give you a bit of an activity to do now on this episode. Think back to when you were a child, or in fact, think back to one of your happiest memories. It doesn't have to be when you were a child, but think back to one of your happiest memories. Have you got it? Good. Keep it stored there. And now I want you to think of your stressful job or stressful experience, and think of the most stressed you've ever been at work, and hook onto that one as well. Have you got it again? Good. So right now you should have something in your mind where it's one of your happiest memories, and it makes you feel warm and nice inside when you think about it. And on the flip side, you have a stressful experience at work, which you don't really want to think about, but I made you think about it because I've told you to on this recording. So you've got the opposite. You've got a stressful experience where it doesn't feel that pleasant. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question now about those two experiences that you have in your mind. Which one do you think is the real you? The real you. Yeah, it's simple, isn't it? It's the happy experience, isn't it? That really is the real you. So it begs the question, doesn't it? Why we get, if that's the real us, the happy experience, why we tend to get so serious and self absorbed about the bad experience. And that's the loss of identity right there in jobs. When we're so stressed and burdened at work, the unhealthy experiences, the stressful experiences are the ones that make us lose who we really are. And if you're familiar with my previous episodes, you'll know where this is going. I'm going to point to the simple truth again and again and again that we are human beings who live in a world of thinking, and whatever we think, we feel. Got it? Yeah, agreed. And it sounds too simple, doesn't it? But the thing is, we as human beings, the illusion of that is so compelling that we forget that, and we tend to find ourselves living in the really uncomfortable thoughts and feelings and experiences, and forgetting that we have this bliss on the other side. And if you go back to your healthy, happy and wonderful experience when I gave you the task to think about it, that thinking and experience and the feelings and how it feels in your mind and body that come with it are always there every moment of every day. It's just that when we entertain ourselves with the bad, then that's when the loss of identity comes and we lose ourselves. And it brings out the worst in us. It makes us more anxious, makes us more depressed. We're not as productive at work or in life in general. And when we live more in the identity of who we are, the happiness, the purity, then that's when we thrive and we're the best version of ourselves and we do better and we have better relationships with people. And the possibilities in life seem endless. Now that brings me on to a little bit of a personal story about me. I'm just going to take a drink, bear with me. Oh, that's better. So, it brings on to a personal story about me. As I said to you before, I worked my way up the corporate career I worked my way up the corporate ladder over 10 plus years in this company, and I started off in the call centre, and then did a kind of like admin job after that, then got my project management qualifications and spent 7.5 years as a project manager PM. And as I say, I think looking back, it's something I did well at, but I did it well in a very unhealthy style. And that unhealthy style is what I've described to you. I did it in a way that was in my intellectual mind too much. So I overthought. I was overthinking things, not just at work, but in my personal life as well. So I was waking up in the morning feeling, and maybe you can relate to this as well, and maybe this is why you're listening. I was waking up in the morning with an immediate pit in my stomach. You know that feeling when you get out of bed and you've got this pit in your stomach? Well, I was waking up with that on a daily basis, literally on a daily basis. And I say, the theme of this episode is loss of identity. I lost myself. That wasn't the real me. I never used to wake up with that feeling in my stomach before I got this role, or even at that company for that matter, in the previous roles I did. But I woke up with a pit in my stomach. And the funny thing was, I always had faith that pit in the stomach would go, and lo and behold, it would do. I would start my work at 9 o'clock, and by 9:30, 10 o'clock, no matter how shit and bad work was going for me, because I kind of knew what was going on. You know, when you wake up in the morning, I think you have that pit in your stomach because of a fear of an unknown of what is about to happen. But because I was in the moment of work and kind of knew what was going on, it didn't seem as scary, weirdly, to me. And I get through my working day and I feel better, say, 5 o'clock in the evening when I was about to shut off, and then I'd be on the sofa, about to go to bed at night, and the thoughts would go through my mind about the next working day. Or actually, the first thing would happen when I went to bed was I'd go over and over and over in my mind about the day, what I did good, what I did bad, what this person said, what I said back, what I could have done better, what I need to do tomorrow. And oh my God, that is a lot to, if you're someone who's going through that right now, I really sympathise with you in a job, because that is a lot of that is a lot of load to take on within the human mind. And as I say, I never used to go to bed at night with those thoughts and feelings. And again, back to the female episode, completely lost my identity of who I really was as a human being, as a person. I was Luke, the boy from Chesterfield who enjoyed life and really, really looked forward to the future, and took things in my stride. Whereas being in this position in my workplace and having those same thoughts and feelings internally created that I was creating, going on over and over again like a hamster wheel. Well, no wonder I identify myself with that, because that was life to me. If I was seeing that on a regular basis, then why would I think I was anything else? And maybe you're doing the same thing as well. Maybe you're creating these nightmares and nightmarish thoughts in your mind, and you just want to stop. Well, the good news is for you that despite it seeming like it's very hard to see, you can stop those nightmares that are going through your mind at any time you want to, and get your identity back. Because your job is not you. The thoughts and feelings that you create because of a job, or I guess you think it's because of a job, but it's not. It's an incident, as I've explained. It's an internally created process that you have going on within your mind. When you understand that that's not really you, the game changes, because that's when the penny drops with people. Because when you can see past the bullshit, and it's not, as I say, it's not easy to see, but it's there. You can see it in the right moment. When you can see that, then the game changes for you, and peace comes, relaxation comes. We're our own worst enemies in a way, because we create scarier stories than stories have to be. What we think and feel isn't or anywhere near as bad as what it seems to be, what's going on in the outside world. And once we raise our understanding of that, then, as I say, things become a lot better for you. And I really hope this hits home for you if you're someone who is suffering needlessly because of a job. Because yes, the job's the job. You can't change that. The job might be long hours, it might be crap pay, you might have a boss on your back every 5 seconds. But with your understanding at a higher level, you know that those aren't the reasons for your thoughts and feelings. Your thoughts and feelings are being internally designed and created, irrespective of those outer circumstances. So when you know the two are separate, it gives you less to do, less to think about. Because with a tranquil mind, a peaceful mind, you can tackle your day-to-day activities with much more peace, ease and grace, which is what we all want, right? And frustratingly, it's there. It's always there if we just allow ourselves to see that. As I say, I hope this really hit home for you. I do hope you're really enjoying these episodes. Let me know. Email address is onethoughtaway1988@gmail.com. That's onethoughtaway1988@gmail.com. Send me an email. Say hello. Let me know if you're using this understanding in your own working life. I had a guy message me the other day. His name was John. And Jonathan messaged me saying he was listening to the episodes and he was in a leadership position at his company and was using this understanding in his own work. That's excellent. That's the exact reason why I do these recordings, to help people like Jonathan, like you, other fellow listeners, have an easy time at work and to not take your job, your thoughts about your job so seriously, so you can thrive. So send me an email, say hello, onethoughtaway1988@gmail.com. Let me know if you would like a free 15-minute clarity call with me. I offer a free 15-minute clarity call. We can talk about you, your problems at work, have a little discussion, and we can just see if we're the right fit for each other. If I'm a good long-term coach for you moving forward to help you be the best version of that you can be in your job, with a deeper understanding of what I try to portray on a weekly basis. As I've said before on previous episodes, it feels like it's never going to happen, but the first guest episode will be out next week. His name is Lee, and he's a marriage expert. So if you're finding it difficult to balance your marriage with a stressful job, then listen to that one. That is the episode for you, because Dr. Lee Balcom is going to give his insights into marriage. He's a marriage expert, and he's going to give his insights into marriage from the inside out, so couples can thrive in the middle of stressful circumstances like work. So do check that one out. I also have a free work stress guide as well, so if you go to the description notes in this episode, there'll be a free work stress guide as well. All you need to do is register your email address, and the free work stress guide will be sent to you, and then there'll be a little intro video from me as well saying thank you for subscribing, and here is the PDF with the work stress guide. So yep, I hope you really got a lot out of this one. Your job is not you. It never will be, never can be. Each and every one of us has a purity inside them, a blank canvas, which is full of peace, love, and possibility. The exact ease, grace, and possibility that you had when you were, say, a child, with your happiest memory, that's always there. It never went anywhere. It never can go anywhere. Remember that. If you get anything out of this episode, just remember that, and you'll just have a good feeling inside of you for the rest of the day to tackle the challenges that you have, not just at work, but in your personal life as well. Take care. I'll speak to you on the next recording. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. If this episode resonated with you, then feel free to connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn, where I share more insights on work stress, leadership pressure, and the inside out understanding. You can also contact me directly via email at onethought1988@gmail.com. And if you're navigating pressure in your own career, you can download my free work stress guide using the link in the show notes. Until next time, take care, and remember, work stress might feel real in the moment, but it isn't who you really are. Thank you.